the guy who grasps all of the attention, Iowa's Lukas Van Ness. Now, he was known about because his bull rush pops off the tape. When he connects and he gets into a tackle and the tackle hasn't got hands on first and maybe he's not quite ready for it, he gets absolute powerful bull rush. Like, he's dominant. He looks like elite play strength. And then, he was on the radar because of that. But then at the NFL Combine, he tested like an absolute maniac. 6'5", 272 pounds with 34-inch long arms and an 81 and 3/4 inch wingspan. He ran a 4.58 40-yard dash, with a 1.57 seconds 10-yard split, jumped 31 inches vertically, 9 foot 2 inches in the broad, which is fine. But then a 7.02 seconds 3 cone and 17 reps on the bench press. But that agility testing with the crazy 40 and 10-yard split and, size, arm length is just nuts. But Van Ness's tape, Griff, we weren't as enamored with.
He has a great foundation in that he's, leverage oriented. He has good technique of the run game. But as a pass rusher, I mean, he's raw. He's not very developed. Obviously, he has a great bull rush. The bull rush is real. The power is real. He doesn't have balance issues when bull rushing. It's just that because that's the only thing he has, really good tackles and guards will like trap him and like knock his arm down, maybe knock him off balance. But it's not like Collier, where Collier had a inherent balance issue. Van Ness has good leverage and he can kind of keep his center of gravity and stuff. So he has more of a foundation. He kind of has a snatch move. He kind of a snatch rip thing. I feel like, with his arm length, he could easily add in some, complementary moves off of the bull rush. I think he should always, like, the bull rush will always be foundational to his game. It's just he's a huge question mark as a pass rusher. And I understand, like, defensive line is the position group to go for traits. If you're going to go for traits with anyone, at least go for traits early. Whereas maybe other positions, you kind of wait for the traits of guys that aren't very developed. You wait for day 2, day 3, right? But with defensive line, if they show anything, that's where you can do it. It's just, I feel like with their needs, that would be like forcing a pick with him. But yeah, we'll dive into the tape here. There's still plenty of things to like. Is this the Indiana game?
This is Ohio State, and I
Okay.
think it's worth looking at this because this is the sort of game where you talk about how tackles knock his arm down, and that the best, like, Ohio State, they have I'm completely blanking on the name. Anton Harrison, is that his name? No, that's the Oklahoma guy, isn't it? Paris Johnson. And DeJuan Jones, and those are like two guys who are going to get drafted this year. Possibly not as first round picks, but like they're like legit tackle prospects. And Van Ness had some difficulties with them. And honestly, this was the game where I was like, I'm kind of out on him. So you can see him here on the left edge against DeJuan Jones. And it just shows the limitations to his rush plan, and also just when guys get hands on him, it's not as
the movement skills aren't there to like work outside. There are big clunky guys like him that are explosive and stuff, and they have like the grace and coordination to make a living out there, and he's just not there yet. Like, if he can't set up with a bull rush, he pretty much has no life on the edge as a pass rusher. That was something that I saw watching all of his games. Like, he's got no bag out there, like, and he doesn't even kind of have like the foundational like footwork to where if he develops some moves, like, he could blossom pretty quickly. Like, you kind of have to start from the ground up with him.
Yeah, here's an example of his bull rush actually working because he gets the hand on first, right down he takes the chest of the tackle, and you can see like the raw power and what that is. You also see the lower body agility here and the way like his hips, are just excellent pad level and that sort of thing. It's just I actually was really impressed with how it's Paris Johnson, right? I was really impressed with how he recovered sort of in this game, came back to it, and ultimately won. Also, he played
Yeah.
a fair bit inside, which again, like against Michigan, for instance, I was like, oh, this is interesting because this is a guy who's playing in the kind of 2Y looks for which Seattle ran last year and at 3
Right.
Tech and not getting knocked over. But then, against the actual offensive line, which was doing bits, he really struggled, got chipped out of there on combos and stuff, which, like, not necessarily a surprise. I just, I thought maybe off the Michigan game and the Indiana games that he'd be able to do a bit more inside, and then I sort of realized no, he is 272 pounds still. Like he's more of like and then that's where you get into the kind of scheme fit thing of like, what's he actually going to be in Seattle? Like,
Right. So it's first and 10 base personnel. Like, where is he playing? Can you put him? Can he be a 3 tech? First and 10 bear, 3-4.
yeah, like I don't think so. Like I really don't think so.
If
Even
so,
here, this is not a good one-on-one edge rep.
so it's really easy to see, like in the 2-4-5, whether, I mean, because the edges aren't dropping, it can be, he can put his hand in the dirt if he's more comfortable. It doesn't matter, right? Um, is he pretty clearly would beef up the run defense if he's an edge there, right? And then if it's like, say, second and medium, or even first and 10, 11 personnel shotgun, you probably put him on the edge a little bit. Because again, like, maybe Clint Hurt thinks he can help him develop counters and move off of his bull rush, so he can give you edge rush and give you run defense. And then like second and 12, he's playing 3 technique in that front, right? Try to
Yep.
give you some interior rush. And then third and long, third and medium, he's playing 3 technique, right? But it's, the real question is, like, you cannot take him in the first round at all. Not even at 5, but or forget about 5, but not even at 20. If you don't think he can't be a base player in your base defense, you don't take a guy first in the first round without him being fitting into everything that you do, right? Now, granted, LJ Collier, who, I mean, he ended up playing okay in 2020 as a run defender, and they played bear that year. Now, there's some reps that you can find where against combination blocks, I mean, he's getting moved, like the
How
front
big
side
was
of power.
Collier?
I think he got up to 290.
Yeah, he was big.
Yeah,
And
but isn't, yeah. What
well,
is
the thing with Van
what
Ness
is
is
his
he
weight
is
again?
young. He was 271 at the combine. He got up to
271. That's right.
272. The thing is, like,
And
he turns 22 in the 6th month. That's June. And I mean, it, the upside's there. Like, don't get us wrong. Like, if you look at this rep, he gets jump set. It doesn't go well initially, but again, you can see the way he's able to corner. Like, there's glimpses at every so often of what his agility would allow to do. Uh, Sorry, the playback's slightly choppy. I don't know. It's never done that before.
man, 270. Get out of here. It might be a no for me, dog. I don't know if I can do this. Okay, again, if they were playing the old scheme where they were playing a 4-3 over and under, and they only reduced when they needed to, sure, take him at 20 if they are obsessed with him, right? But he's just not a scheme fit, man. He's not versatile. He's a tweener. That's the problem. It's like the question, the operative question is this guy versatile, or is he a tweener? Does he have multiple positions, or is he positionless? And he might be positionless for what they are right now. Again, that doesn't mean that they think, well, he can carry 285 just fine. We'll have him eat some cheeseburgers and then he can go be lots of things for us. And sure, if that's the plan, if they talk to him during the pre-draft process, like, how do you think you can handle all this? Like, he's strong as hell. Like, his strength to weight ratio is insane, right? It's just 270 is still 270, right? Like, he might play like a 280-pound guy at 270, great, but the 285 guys that make it work play like 300-pounders, right? Like Michael Bennett at 280 played like he was 290. Draymond at 285 plays like something north of pushing 300, right? That's how they make it work. But
Yeah, I found this.
I
This
don't
is
know.
like an
I don't
illustrative
know.
rep. Like, he's playing so hard for knockback here that like a crease develops, which again, maybe maybe it's slightly nitpicky, but it's just an example of how this is like losing a rep to a tight end, and I
Yeah,
don't know
that's
how
bad.
the fit wise they're not in that good a situation. But like
I
he'll
think
have to play on the edge as a run defender.
I think he's excited because he's thinking,
Tackle for loss, yeah.
but he's thinking backside, outside
Mm,
zone, or
yeah.
mid zone. But the cutback this is mid zone, isn't it? It's not even.
Well, it's I don't know how split that is with the receiver going back, but yeah, mid zone, yeah.
And so it's into the boundary. He should be thinking cutback, honestly, because that's why I think that's why mid zone is so common, because you're running in you have less space to the boundary, obviously. So if you speed up the cutback read, then you're running into more space. So I don't know.
I
Maybe that's
found
just it.
he's obviously got athleticism like here to get up this quickly
I
when he's
remember that
falling
rip.
on the
Yeah.
ground and get to the quarterback coming up from the pocket. Like CJ Stroud here thinks he's got a wide open lane, does not expect him to get up this quickly.
I mean, he. Oh, I was looking up the wrong player. Shoot.
Oh yeah, that's a nice rep from 13.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like 8, 9. I was like, if that was him, like, there's some like
Then there's a different move.
traits, but yeah,
A little, what do you call that? Like a ghost, but like a double dip.
it's just like a inside chop dip.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's so
Okay.
fun. Dude, Iowa has like 6 of these guys.
Yep. We could
Uh,
just change the number and obviously there's slight stylistic differences, but
I do like Logan Lee as kind of like a
83,
yeah, no, 85.
85, that's it.
He's a
Yeah.
good run defender. He's kind of like on the, Brandon Jackson, David King, DeMarcus Dobbs type thing.
Here's another kind of rough rep versus chip double. And this is the stuff in the league that they will expect him to play against, by the way. He'll have to play like
Yeah,
4-3 end.
this is garbage. And he's power stepping too. And what are his hands even doing here?
That's the thing. His hand placement's like for a guy whose ball rush is his main thing. His hand placement in certain situations isn't
So
there.
so
And again, like
he has
technique can be taught up for draft prospects, right? Like,
absolutely,
but
but so like he has no feel for his pressure key here. Is
no,
the
he
other
just doesn't know
thing.
what he's doing. Yeah.
So the pressure key being the guard. Well, no, 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 no,
The
no, no, no,
tackle. Yeah.
no, no, the tackle. Sorry, he just has. Yeah, that's the thing. He's not as, I don't know what the word is. I feel like it's more of an experience thing. I'm not going to say cerebral, but he doesn't understand blocking schemes, and that's why he's probably not a starter. That's why he didn't start for them. He's high effort, high motor
Like
traits guy
the hand
who isn't.
placement here as well, just off. Really wide.
That is a good power step though,
Very good power step.
in that he knows to get flat because he's not mirror stepping. It almost looks like a mirror step, but he understands the situation. He
Hmm.
knows it's like inside zone indicators.
Yeah, good pad level. Yeah, it's like basically duo, isn't it, that they get?
Or it's duo. Is that
But
duo? Yeah, it's duo.
very
Well,
tight zone. Like, it's short
no.
yardage.
Okay. Either way. Um, either way, it's him understanding that it's a downhill A gap run, right?
Mhm.
Anyway.
And then this is like I just want to show how Paris Johnson kind of just won eventually against him. And sort of the examples of why he's going to come into difficulties in the league. Like it will be a work in progress with him. So here he is on this edge, the left edge, and like I think he just great feet from Johnson coming out, getting hands on him first, and he's playing like short. Now he's playing short, I guess, because he's trying to get the ball rush unlocked, but he never unlocks it, and then he tries to win to the inside as a recovery, but like Johnson square, like he just dominates him.
Yeah.
And I think this is realistically what a lot of his NFL reps look like,
Yep.
Like there's not much wider you can align here in terms of trying to build up speed to get power.
Now
Um,
he does get the Trevon Walker comp. The pass rusher, I get that because the traits are very similar and like being raw and stuff is like he's like equally raw as a pass rusher as Trevon. But as a run defender, Trevon's floor is way higher.
mhm,
And Trevon was a early down player. So to
yep,
me, like he's just not even a first rounder to me, but people are talking about him in the top 10. That's just absurd to me. Which many people are. I just don't see it. Maybe it's because it speaks to like, you know, how talentless the edge class is overall. But like you said, like they're actually this is a good like tweener or rather big edge, like classic 4-3 end draft. It's not a bad one. It's pretty solid there. It's just it feels like there isn't a lot of talent there because of the guys that are really easy fits for the Seahawks and a lot of teams now that a lot of teams are bear teams now. These guys aren't the easiest of fits. So
yep. Let's find him. There's another good rush here against. I think this is him bull rushing a guard. How did that happen? Oh yeah, here. Now this is the guard doesn't expect him to strike him down the neck like this. He's thinking he's gonna have a kick out kind of style block on the way they're full sliding their protection. Still, like when he's first to the chest, there's the power there, and this is almost like a wrong arm way of doing it, right? Almost denting the block on a full
yeah.
slide.
Yeah. I mean, and it goes to show if you can catch a guy off their if you catch a guy high, he will absolutely walk you into the quarterback.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, and he's got some reps where it's even like slow building power, like he's not firing off. He'll like engage
little
and then start
stutter.
start driving his feet and then walk them back. Like he doesn't just need to convert the power. He can tap into his power, out of at any point, if he's got the angle for it. So, um,
Absolutely. Like, I don't like again, the running back is lower than him, and so there is not that
I feel
same
like I feel like what this does is it shows that he's kind of an awkward mover in space.
despite the weird three cone, the three cone being so elite, tape over testing.
Yeah.
And again, an awkward mover in space, like a guy who's looking to kind of play straight and is almost like everything looks clunky. Um, that is
Now,
not an outside linebacker. That's not a guy who can play outside linebacker for Seattle, and we've already
right.
said how he can't play inside.
Yeah.
But, like, in terms of the fit, like, it's highly questionable, especially for where he's supposedly gonna go, which, like, I still don't really understand.
I mean, also though,
But I mean,
credit to that running back though. That's a Travis
great,
Homer caliber rep
awesome.
there.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, finish. Um, but yeah, that's Lukas Van Ness. So we wouldn't really take him. Not for the Seahawks anyway. I no, and I said
For-
I don't understand it. I understand it. It's just I wouldn't personally be.
All
I
right,
don't
but
know how you just got to bet on the traits and coach him up. But I guess if you're the 49ers, say,
sure,
that's the sort of pick you'd make if they had a pick in the first round or the second round.
right.
Is that kind of defense. Yeah, so like he could contribute for Seattle in the 2-4-5, right? Like come off the bench, be a dude who can
Hmm.
add a different style of rush. It's just contribution wise that it just limits what you're able to do.
Right.